driver. This information will prepare you for your upcoming assessment. And this is why we do this. We want to be structured. We want to hit our goals, hit our objectives. Your goal is to get out here and be a safe driver. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. So question one, if the driver ahead of you is distracted, right? They're not focusing on the road. The number one thing is road safety. You want to maintain a safe following distance. A lot of beginners tailgate, they lose focus. It happens to all of us. But as a beginner, you don't have those inroads in your brain yet. It takes 30 days to develop a habit. You want to make sure you're driving. Your dad, we know about driving in your location. A lot of people coming to visit your area, they're going really fast, they're not paying attention. So you could pull out in the street and someone from New York or Texas or Nebraska is going like 80 down a 35-mile-an-hour zone. So you have more dangers than maybe I have in the city. So it's unique challenges. So as I'm going through this, I need you to put in your questions as I go along so we can keep it going. Give me 1 second here, please. All right, I'm going to the next one. So in terms of number one, 13 of you got it right, 1 got it wrong. You should not wear headphones while driving because you will not be able to hear. This is important sounds. Most of you know this, but you're going to be wearing your headphones. Some of you are wearing your headphones right now. You've got to really pay attention. Your ears give you vital information to hear sirens, maybe hearing people talk to you. If your window's down a little bit, you should always have a little ventilation. The best time to address a distraction is before it begins. It's your job as the driver to make sure everyone has their seatbelt, to make sure you have fuel in the car, to make sure your car is roadworthy. If you don't do these things, you're going to end up not focused, not being safe on the road, and you will definitely get into a crash. Fatigue affects your body to perceive and respond to hazards. This is true. One person said false. So this tells me you don't maybe understand the word fatigue. Fatigue affects all of us. So if you're out in the sun all day, that takes energy from you. You're out on the water, you're riding a horse, you're going to another job. So you've got to get your rest. Next, alcohol begins to affect a person's ability the moment it enters the body. This is true. One person said no, so maybe someone got locked out, but that does impact your ability. Number 6, we're talking about the age of 21 and up. You need to know 0.08. That's the national standard across the United States. There are government bureaus that are trying to get this lower. The psychological effects, they affect your vision and judgment. So you need to be aware of this. These are things you must know. Next, medications used to treat the common cold often make you sleepy and should not be used while driving. This is true, but many of you will take it anyway because you forgot, and then you're going to be driving and fall asleep. A driver loses control to hear her emotions to attempt to harm someone. This is called road rage. One person said, 2 people said aggressive driving. That is not aggressive driving. So you don't want to miss these easy questions. You're going to have 80 questions on your test. You're going to have 2 hours to take it. It's your job to focus in and lock in. I know you're busy. I know you're doing football. I know you're doing family stuff. But what I found out, take your time to do well on your assessment. Strong emotions can cause you to fix your attention on one event. This is true. So driving is a multitask event. We went over this before. So you want to lock into your focus on driving. And that is the most common. Give me 1 second. Let me move the chat over. Go ahead and put in your questions. Someone asked about a screen. That was a situation computer. I know that you should stay at least 3 seconds. Yes, that is what every driver must know. That's the minimum following distance is 3 seconds. So if you understand that, then you won't hit someone. If you don't understand that, you're going to hit someone. It takes 1 second to say, oh my God, I should be slowing down. It takes another second for your brain, for your eyes to send a message to your brain, for your brain to tell your leg to hit the brake or hit the gas. So if you remember that, you will always be safe. But the problem is with beginning drivers, you have a difficult time judging distance and space. So Phoebe, I'm answering your question by giving you examples. Phoebe, you're walking to school down the hallway. You're a high school student. You walk into someone because you misjudged the distance. You're like, I'm sorry. So many of you have at least 1 to 3 stride lengths to not walk into someone. I want you to think of you walking in your high school as you driving in a car. You must have a stride length of at least 1 to 3 seconds, because if you keep walking into people, Phoebe, people won't like you. So as you go faster, Phoebe, you want to increase your following distance because you're going faster. If you walk faster in the hallway, you need to increase your following distance because someone could walk out. So Phoebe, I gave you an example of walking in the hallway, and I know that will help you on the test because I know what's on the test. But I'm not going to tell you the answers, but I'm going to give you a real world example. I'm reading your questions. Please put a Q in a question. If you feel drowsy, just pull over. But you guys won't do that because you think I can make it. I'm going to go get an energy drink. All that's going to do is artificially make you more alert for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half an hour, and then your system will crash. So a lot of you think I can take an energy drink, I can have a coffee, and I can get there. The reality is you're going to fall asleep. And micro sleep issues are a major concern in your age group. So I'm giving you real life examples. Bryce, I love the example, but at the end of the day, Bryce, you've got to get your rest. Well, but I have a job and I'm taking 2 AP classes and I got to take care of my little sister, brother. I understand that. But if you're falling asleep first hour and second hour, you don't eat lunch, and then you got to drive for half an hour and work, you're going to fall asleep. So what I would suggest you as your driver's education uncle, have some time to yourself. Turn off your phone. Rest. Take a power nap. That's what I suggest all of you do. Now, you can choose to listen to me or not. You can listen to your mom or dad or not. Because when I was your age, I didn't listen. You're not going to listen to your mom and dad. You're going to listen to your teacher. You're going to listen to your driving instructor. You're going to listen to your basketball or football or track coach. You're going to listen to your trusted counselor. So what you need to do is rest. If you don't, you're going to fall asleep at the wheel and crash. Okay? Let's keep going. I like the questions and I want to keep it moving. Strong emotions can cause you to fix your attention. The best time to take a short break is before you feel drowsy. That's true. But remember, you are under 21. You want to do everything now. You want to work 5 hours. You want to be outside all day. Then you have an online class, this class. So you're not really balancing your time. Let's keep going. I'm going to keep going. And some of the questions will match up to your questions. Everyone needs to put in a question. Always, you can find a safe gas station. You can find a safe parking lot that's well lit. Okay? You crack your window, you turn off your car. But you're not really going to get deep sleep because you're going to think, oh, I'm driving. And then I'm resting. And then you get to a medium sleep. And then you wake up in panic. So you won't ever really get a deep sleep because you're not in your home. You're not comfortable. Okay. What is the difference between road rage and aggressive driving? Road rage is when you try to kill someone. Aggressive driving is when you cut off someone. Jalen, you're in school. You got to get to your class. You are hall raging, right? Or rage baiting. You know what that is. Your friend rage baits you. They want to see you get mad. So you are walking very aggressively in the hallway. You cut off the principal. They say, slow down. You cut off the dean of students. They say, go to my office. You cut off a person to make them fall. That's aggressive walking. Aggressive driving is you cut off people, you slam brakes. Road raging is when you intend to do harm to someone. I have a great video for this, and I like your question. That's going to be on the test. All right, what's the sign of aggressive driving? You don't remember what you did the last few miles. You miss your exit. You end up downstate. You're trying to get to the UP. And they're like, oh my God, I'm lost. No. You missed your exit, you're downstate, and you should have been up in the UP. You should have been up in Wisconsin. Let's keep going. When are you most likely to encounter impaired drivers? Late night, early morning, weekends, and holidays. The 4th of July. You're going to have people visiting your area. That's a big travel day across the United States. Gas will increase a little bit. You're going to see more accidents. When people come back, they're going to fall asleep. Bus accidents. It's a very dangerous time. Your parents are going to be speeding to go to aunties down in Tennessee. Your relatives from Texas are going to be coming up. So people are traveling on the road, and you should travel, but your car is going to break down. Your car is going to overheat. You're going to forget your exit. There's going to be construction. A semi-truck turned over. So you need to allow plus or minus an hour to 2.5 hours of travel time because they're always working on the roads. That really ties into our podcast you're going to listen to in a moment. Please put in questions as I go along. This is for you. This is not for me, guys. Okay? And if you just sit here, it's so boring. You put in your questions. I'm making a multi-educational class. How often does road rage cause lethal accidents? I don't have statistical data, Noah. You can Google that. Noah, Google that. Type in nationally, how often does road rage cause lethal accidents? Type it in, Noah. Educate us. Okay, use a scholarly source. Don't use something on Facebook that's not trusted. Use the National Highway Safety Transportation. Use AAA. Type in AAA. How often does road rage cause lethal accidents, Noah? You look that up, and then you put in the link, and we look at it. So, Noah, you be the leader. You'll learn more. Me doing it, you won't learn more. Some of you will just sit here and fall asleep. So, Noah, type that in, get us a link, and if it's a good source, I'll tell you. It must be a scholarly source. Okay, it must be a national organization that puts together publications, that has books written. Okay, not mom and dad, not a Facebook group. Okay, so Noah, you do that for me, and then we learn more. Okay, what is the worst time to drive as a new driver? We talked about that. That is 2 to 5 p.m. Why, Aiden? You're going to have beginning drivers out on the road, inexperienced drivers who are going to run a light up in Sheboygan, who are going to speed through your town. The speed limit is 30. They're doing 60. So you want to protect your energy. You're new. You haven't been down to the city. You haven't been to Chicago. You haven't been to Detroit by yourself. You haven't been to Indiana by yourself. First, you're going to say, am I in the right direction? Am I going too slow? Man, they're doing 90. I'm doing the speed limit. There's construction. My phone just died. So you're going to have that fear, that excitement. So, Aiden, we already went over that. It's early afternoon because you guys will get out of school. The majority of new drivers, and that's teens, you go to school. You're in high school. You're in college. And most new drivers, and my new driver is that 14.9 to about 18. You're in school, okay? Or you just graduated. And the reality is, you don't want to graduate and not have your license, but there are people with that because you won't have a job. You're going to rely on mom and dad. You won't go to the prom. You understand what I'm saying? So Noah, did you Google it? Did you find it? I want to see a link in. Let's keep moving. Are there different types of emotions that will fix? Anger, sadness. Those are several emotions. If you go somewhere at a time where there's a lot of impaired drivers, what is the safest way to avoid? Don't go in that area during that time period. Go before that time period. Go after that time period. If you can't avoid that time period, drive in a defensive manner. I like that question, Bryce. Thank you. That's right on point. Let's keep going. And some of you are starting to develop higher level questions. In a front wheel skid, your car moves straight in spite of steering inputs. Okay, so if you're going too fast, you're going to skid. Okay, we're going to look at that link that Noah put in, and let's find it. So first, I'm looking at this right now. So first, I'm going to question Noah. What is the zebra? Okay, what is this? Is this a trusted source? What is this? Remember, I'm an educator, so I don't know what this is. I just see cut and paste information. The AI models can just cut and paste information, so I don't know what the zebra is, so I'm going to look it up. So this is about auto insurance. So obviously, a pop-up auto insurance company try to put in information. They want to gear you toward insurance. So this is going to be geared toward insurance. Okay, so I know this is going to be biased, but we're going to look at it quickly to give us information. And I appreciate you putting that in. So we're looking at a source that is geared toward you getting insurance. In 24, 96 witnessed the act of road rage. So road rage is common, right? It goes back to the zebra. In 24, 116 people have been killed. I still need more information. The total of 12,610 people. So, but now I see National Highway Safety. So Noah, what I want you to do, why don't you put in NHTSA and then put in your question? Because this source we're looking at is geared toward insurance. It wants to make you feel vulnerable, right? It says 50% of drivers respond to careless acts of driving. 94% of traffic accidents are caused by driver error. Okay. McKenna asks, what is the best way to avoid aggressive driving? Stay out of people's blind spots. Don't go slow in the fast lane. Stay in the middle lane. Be a defensive driver. Always check your mirrors. So what is the root of aggressive driving? So I'm an educator. I would say this is not really the best source. I would say National Public Radio, NPR, is a good source. I would say the NHTSA is a good source. Noah, what I want you to do is put your question into this. And this covers some of the questions. So root of aggressive driving, you're tired, you're trying to get home, you are failing your AP classes, you keep showing up late to work, you are showing up late to practice, that's stress. The zebra has collected data. So the zebra, it tells you, this is not really a good source, it's collected data from the National Highway Safety Administration and the American Psychological Administration. So all they're doing is just repeating data. They're telling you what road rage is versus aggressive driving. And that's what one of your classmates said. So it's right here. Road rage is legally classified as criminal charges. We know this. Aggressive driving can be ticketed. It doesn't really tell you what road rage is. States Texas, Michigan, Minnesota are the top areas for road rages per capita. So it's not really telling you what road rage is. It's giving you statistics. So it's hooking you in. Let's go back and keep moving. Hold on. Okay, let's keep going. A body at rest will remain at rest. It's inertia. Let's keep going. Your most important decision will involve how to manage available time and space. That's really important. A lot of you miss this because you don't understand. You don't want to hit someone. Let's go back to you walking in high school. You're running down the hallway. You're running because you're late, but you don't want to hit someone. So you want to minimize this. So how do you minimize? Don't run in the hallway. But you run in the hallway, and this increases your chances of hitting someone. And if you hit someone, they're going to hit you back. And now we have a freshman getting beat up or a sophomore getting beat up. The question is, don't run in the hallway. You can walk quickly, but don't run. Because I'm an educator. Stop running in the hallway. And then two of you run into each other and get a concussion. And then one of you push, and then we have a fight. And then I take you both to the principal and write you up. One kid was running in the hallway, hit a kid going around the corner. The other kid pushed them. The other kid pushed back. Both of them were fighting. So it happens. So you don't want to prevent it. Prevent is too late. You want to minimize it. Don't run. Keep more space. Which of the following is not a principle of controlled consequences of a vehicle crash? Hit an approaching object rather than a stationary object. A lot of you miss this. Hit something going the way rather than a stationary object. It's the trick question. These questions are from your assessment. Drive off the road, you'll hit a tree. If you drive off the road, you can go into the water. If you drive off the road, you can go and hurt yourself. Hit an approaching object rather than a stationary object. So that's the correct answer. So this is 50%. If you must stop suddenly and your vehicle is not equipped with ABS, you want to pivot your foot between the gas and brake. This is another classic question that a lot of you missed. And I'm going to copy and put this into, I don't want to see that screen right now. Copy. Please put in questions I'm taking time to go over this. You guys missed that question. Please make sure you understand it. I would take a screenshot of that, right? I'm going by data. Let's keep going. If a driver is about to be struck from the rear, what should you do? Be ready to apply the brakes so you're not pushed into another vehicle. If your most important sense while driving is vision, you got to be able to see. The closer you pass an object, the faster it appears. 90, you got it right. Slow is wrong. When pulled over, your hand should be visible to the officer. If you are in a far right lane of the highway and you want to change lanes to middle lane, especially where a vehicle's in a far left lane. When exiting a freeway, you should signal well ahead of the deceleration lane. Most of you got that right. Good job. What is the greatest cause of crashes and fog? Drivers going too fast. And we have the white line or edge line, it's the fog line. Remember, this is from your packet. 14 right, their limited visibility is due to buildings. This is true. And the traffic scene. Your traffic scene, you live in a small town. You don't live in Detroit. You don't live in Chicago. You don't live in Houston, Texas. Your population is less than 100,000. So you have a small town. You have one diner. You have a small Walmart. You have one school district. People speed through your town because they're in a hurry. On rural roads, it is more difficult to recover from an error because speeds are higher and roads are narrow. That's true. It is most common type of crash in construction zones, rear end collisions. It's not side impact. You're not paying attention. You check your GPS. You get a text. It's stop and go traffic, rear end. On most shoulders have less traction because there's gravel, there's a soft shoulder. If you experience vehicle breakdown, what is your car's breaking down. You have a flat tire. Your car's not running properly. You want to pull over to the side as safe as possible. Really important. When encountering rough and slippery road conditions, your driver should slow down, maintain control. Which lane should you drive in when you're traveling on the freeway? The right lane. You don't want to be in the left. That's the passing lane. After you drive through a puddle, you should gently squeeze the brakes to heat up those brake pads and get that water off the brakes. What is black ice? We already talked about that. All of you should get it right. We got 14 right. Good job. If you experience a vehicle breakdown, how can you help other road users? Turn on your hazard lights so they don't rear end you. Passing on the right of an intersection is allowed if the road especially widens for that. If the road doesn't widen for that, you need to stay in the lane. The move over law requires change of lane or slow down. 7 of you got it right. 7 of you will get a ticket or cause an accident. I have a great video on that I should show you. What benefits do roundabouts offer? They reduce injury, fatal crashes, less pollution, less wasted time because you effectively go through the roundabout. When you are merging on the freeway, who should yield? The driver entering the freeway. I almost said it wrong. The driver entering. So if you're on a ramp, you've got to merge. Merge means you either slow down and let them pass you, or you accelerate and speed up. But you need to yield the right of way. If it starts to rain on a hot day, the roads were most slippery the first few minutes when it rains. The oil and gas are mixing together. How can you reduce the risk of driving in snow? Brake and accelerate and steer gently. We talked about that in our other segment when you guys have your first snowfall. How can you reduce sun glare? Keep your windshield and windows clean. A good indicator of hydroplaning, your car, there's standing water. If you encounter aggressive drivers, somebody asked about aggressive drivers who appears to be agitated, change your path of travel. When it is raining, your choice of speed should be influenced by the amount of traction you have. Why should you clear snow and ice off your vehicle before driving? Snow and ice could become loose and it could cause a hazard for other drivers. I need you to type in what you learned, please and thank you. Type in what you learned, please and thank you. Peyton, I see your question. I'll answer that in a moment. I like the question. Put takeaway. We always put takeaway. I got you at a higher level. Takeaway, Takeaway, semicolon. What is your takeaway from this? Okay. We went over worksheet 4, 51 to 91. You're doing your multiple choice right now. And I'm going to get a video ready for you. You want to signal well before getting into the do, but how early? You want 100 feet or half a block. You want to have 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 car length, Peyton. Great question. The earlier if you have your blinker on too early, Peyton, you confuse the other drivers. Peyton, if you have your blinker on too late, you're going to get rear-ended. So a 5 car length, a 3 car length. 2 is too small. 1, too small. So 5 car lengths. Good question. Thank you for the takeaways. I really appreciate you guys going deeper on the takeaways. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you, Maggie. Right? I'm pushing you and it's going to pay off. You're going to be really good drivers. We love our group up there. Remember, if you're getting sleepy, take a break. It's not worth like crashing. Okay, I'm gonna get a video ready for you guys. I like what you're putting in. Finish your questions up. And then I'll be getting the pro version once school starts. Give me 1 second. This is a great takeaway today of new drivers, beginning drivers. You want to improve as much as you can. I want all of you to improve and all of you to get better. The only way you're going to improve and get better is if you subscribe, is if you lock in, because I'll be going live as much as possible. This is a masterclass for new drivers, beginning drivers. Leave questions, subscribe.